When the United States Coast Guard cooperates in a research project, it goes all out. This was a big one, important enough to rate the services of 3 top-flight scientific brains. It was newsworthy enough to attract top-line press coverage, too.
Hi, Lieutenant. May I come aboard?
What if I say no?
You never have, even when you're sitting on top of a big story.
Now, who told you about that? PI?
That and a woman's instinct. Mine works overtime when Mike Nelson is involved. Someday his scales may dry out long enough for me to put a ring in his nose. Is he under?
Right at the end of that cable.
As usual. Well, I'll see him when he comes up.
You're going to have to wait 3 days.
3 days? What kind of a gag is this?
Ask the experts. Come on, I'll introduce you. Gentlemen? Gentlemen, this is Dorothy Maybrook, science writer for the Tribune and our youngest Pulitzer Prize winner.
Well, she's the prettiest anyway. Hello.
Dorothy, this is Dr. Bainbridge, the Navy's best diving physician.
How do you do?
Dick Jennings, project engineer.
Hi.
Hi. And Professor Anton Riccardi, specialist in high-pressure gases and breathing mixtures.
How do you do?
How do you do? So, this isn't a gag.
No.
Professor, I'm familiar with your work, but I don't see how Mike can stay under for 3 days. He hasn't grown gills, has he?
Much of the information is classified.
Only a gas formula, Professor. Some details of the scuba sphere.
Scuba sphere?
Pressure chamber with its own supply. Pressure keeps the water out even when the entrance door is open. So he can come in, take his gear off, and get warm and dry without decompression.
A pressure chamber. But I don't see any airlines.
It is self-contained. It is supplied with a helium-oxygen mixture and regulated automatically as regards pressure in accordance with my formula.
Mike's scuba setup is the same. Liquid helium and liquid oxygen.
How deep is he?
250 feet. At least that's where the chamber is.
Nobody has tried to stay in deep waters for more than an hour or 2, even with helium-oxygen mixture.
Right. And in 3 days, anything can happen.
It is only the human element that concerns me. Unfortunately, emotions cannot yet be accurately anticipated, measured, or controlled.
Professor, if those gadgets of yours are as dependable as Mike Nelson, we got no worries.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Tully had a message for me when I was out working. I had been for hours. So I headed home now, to Riccardi's scuba sphere. That's when I heard the alarm bell, telling me to get inside and answer the phone. The getting inside part took some doing.
Yeah? Hiya, Mike. How are you making it as a spaceman?
Like an astronaut in orbit. Why the panic button?
Nothing serious. Radio reports a tropical storm headed this way.
Oh? Is it rough up there?
No, it's not due up here till sometime tomorrow.
Well, let's see what it looks like in the morning, huh? No sense quitting unless it gets bad.
Okay. Stay close to home, though. I don't have to come looking for you.
Oh, don't worry. I'm knocking off right now. As soon as I label these samples, I'm hitting the sack.
Hey, Mike, there's a friend of yours up here.
Oh, who?
Isn't it lonesome down there?
Hey, who is this?
Hi, lover boy.
Hey, Dottie. I've changed my mind. Pull me up, you guys.
In 3 days, darling. Bye.
Bye, you. I was glad when I wound up my first day's work, 250 feet underwater. Now for my first night's rest. I was so tired, the hammock looked comfortable to me. It even felt that way. this time of night topside, I generally raid the refrigerator. Down here, the only snack available was some concentrated liquid protein. Nourishing, sure, but not very tasty. I didn't have much else to complain about. Almost wished I had, just to break the monotony. But as far as I could tell down here, my chief problem would be keeping awake during daylight upstairs.
Stands to cheek.
You see, Lepikoven, boy, we've got a real howler moving in.
Slack off of the cable before you beat me to death.
Okay, but don't fool around. The storm will get real nasty before long. I want you on deck.
All right.
It was worse than it looked. The dogs, the metal clamps that sealed the door shut, were bent out of line. I had to fix them somehow. I had to. The pressure inside the chamber was the same as outside, 8 atmospheres, which was why no water came in. But topside, it was only 1 atmosphere. With the air seal broken this way, if they had to pull me up fast because of the storm, the difference in pressures would kill me. My one chance was to force the clamps back into line and seal the door. Keep it sealed upstairs while the pressure was lowered, gradually to sea level.
What's that, Mike? But it's got to seal. Well, they can't hold us here forever.
What is it, Doc? What's the matter?
Wait. Talk to Dick. He's the engineer.
Mike up yet, Doctor? We gotta get this ship out of here.
Bad news, Captain. Real bad. Mike can't get the door closed.
We're dragging the hook now. I'm trying to hold it with power. How much longer will it take?
We've got to make a new door. He can't fix it. Dick says it'll take at least a day. We've got to get this chamber off the bottom before we pound it to pieces.
I can't maneuver with booming that thing over the side.
Shall we cut him loose, Captain?
That's the choice.
That's a choice.
Hey, slack off! Slack off! Drifting? Okay, I'll check.
Dick Jennings, the engineer, had done a remarkable construction job. The chamber came through intact. Its skin was scratched, but not broken. Even the cable, my lifeline to the cutter, seemed okay. But I kept on checking. If anything were wrong, now was the time to report it topside before the storm sent the cutter reeling again. Something was wrong, all right. Terribly wrong. But I couldn't report it. My telephone connection with the cutter was ripped to shreds.
Left full runner. Kicker.
Clear, Mike, boy. We can't hold it in this sea.
I had to make sure that I didn't lose my lifeline the same way, if and when we slammed into the next reef. I started to lash some additional ropes around the cable, but the cutter dragged anchor again and took the chamber with it. I went to work again now, trying to reinforce the cable as fast as I knew how, hoping against hope that I'd have enough time. The strain from upstairs was too much. The eye of the cable opened, and away it went.
It's free. Mike got it clear.
Mike's all clear. It's up to you now, Captain. All engines ahead 2/3.
Overhead, I could hear the cutter moving out, and close to full power. The sea around me was too empty, too cold for comfort now. I wanted the nearest thing that I could find to four walls and a roof over my head.
Doctor? There's something wrong here. We're not dragging that sphere. Check the cable.
You sure? Check the cable. Fella says we haven't got the chamber.
He's right. No weight on it at all. Cable's loose.
It was night again. My second night in what had become a chamber of horrors. For the first time in my life, the world underwater was a fearful place. Oppressively still. Disturbingly lonesome. At that moment, Dorothy's voice would have been the sweetest music ever heard on land or in the sea. And her companionship would have been worth anything to me. Even that ring that she wanted to put through my nose. The storm had gone now, and in another handful of hours, the 3-day supply of helium oxygen in the chamber would be gone also. Trying for the surface was out. I might need more than a half a day to come up from this depth without getting a fatal case of the bends.
You know, Professor, you don't have to sell me on the importance of research, but I do think you let Mike take too much of a risk.
Well, the risk was justified. So the ocean floor is as important to defense as outer space. We must have the rare mineral existing in deep water.
You shouldn't have let him try to ride out the storm. You couldn't be sure your scuba sphere would come through intact.
My sphere did not fail. We cannot control human elements.
What's human about a storm or a banged-up door?
Nothing. And if Mike pulls through, it'll be because some men can survive in spite of a lot of mechanical brains.
Well, we have a new door. Now all we have to do is find it.
I had to help them find me. They might see a float, if I could get one up to the surface. But none of my signal equipment had been designed for this great depth. We'd never expected that we'd need it. I tried the standard inflatable marker buoy, but the 8-atmosphere pressure down here was too great. It wouldn't even inflate. The air inside my lungs was under the same pressure, so I managed to inflate a marker balloon myself. It took off for the top in great style, but the higher it went, the more it expanded as the outside pressure diminished. That's what would happen to my lungs if I tried going up without waiting for hours at a dozen different stages. There was one thing that I could inflate that wouldn't explode. A pair of denim work pants. I didn't have much hope that the air would stay in them. That is, topside, long enough for anyone to spot them. They lasted less than a minute. That couldn't be long enough.
Left full rudder. Make another run over that area. I'm sure I saw something. Left full rudder, sir.
That was it. My luck had finally run out. Ditto for my ideas. I couldn't think of another thing to do, except get back inside the chamber, conserve my air till the very last second, and pray. I'll admit it. I was licked, physically and mentally. But something kept my mind from quitting on me entirely. And deep, deep down inside it, a childhood memory slowly climbed to the surface. A trick that I'd learned in my Cub Scout days. I did have something that would float. I was wearing it. It was cold without the shirt, cold as death. But at the moment, I hardly noticed it. I had something much, much more important going for me. And it went. Brother, how it went.
Mike. I can tell it's his shirt. Dave, it's Mike.
Right full rudder. This is it.
Right full rudder, sir.
Dick Jennings didn't lose any time sending the new door down to me, along with new cable and phone connections. It was cold, rough work wrestling the door all the way to the chamber. But when your life depends on doing a job, usually you manage to do it.
He's had plenty of time to make a hookup. Probably found him too late. Without that shirt, he's frozen.
After attaching the cable, I fixed the phone line. And I was ready to join the human race upstairs again.
Send a diver down. Mike! You sound sick.
I'm just cold. I lost my shirt someplace. As soon as I get this door on, you pull me up out of here, huh?
He's clear. They made it. Bring him up, Captain.
I wasn't able to join up in a hurry, though. I was so exhausted that I didn't even want to. I slept through the endless hours of decompression once the chamber was safely landed on deck.
It's all over. Ricard has finished decompressing you. You can come out now. Come on out.
Mike! Mike! Come on out!
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Be right there.
Are you all right?
Oh, this must be heaven. You're the angel I've been dreaming about. Hey,
What is it? What's wrong?
you don't look a day older. No lines, no wrinkles. And I must have been underwater for at least 10 years.
Well, then, let's, try to catch up. Come on.
Hi there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. Skin diving is certainly a lot of fun, and it's full of adventure. See some more of it again next week, huh? When there'll be another excursion into that fabulous underwater world of Sea Hunt.
A famous oceanographer and I were testing a new type of sonar device on my boat.
Mike?
Huh?
Take a look at this.
What do you think you got?
I don't know. Dolphins, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, sharks.
Could be.
I think I'll go down and take a look for myself in person. Find out just how accurate this gizmo really is, okay?
Right.
The blips on our sonar device couldn't have been made by dolphins or sharks. They didn't make a humming noise like this. The hum grew steadily louder. It came from two propeller-driven scooters. Special souped-up jobs. The divers were something special, too. Illegal, maybe. They were traveling in restricted waters, close to the shipping lanes leading into the harbor. I took as much advantage of available cover as I could. It was almost certain that they were looking for something. Now they'd found it. A marker buoy, leading down to a wooden crate on the harbor bottom. Whatever they were up to was their business, not mine. Butting in was bound to mean trouble for me. A few minutes later, it did. The two divers worked away at freeing the crate from the weights that held it to the bottom. Now they headed out with it. Where to, I couldn't imagine. I didn't have any idea what was in the crate either. Now, there was only one way to find out, but it was a little risky. One of the divers had a spear gun mounted on his scooter. right about it being risky. The crate they were carrying must have been worth a lot to them. They were willing to kill to protect it. When I finally made it to the surface, I looked around for my boat. It was practically on the horizon.
Give me my spare tank, will you?
What are you talking about, Mike? Using the spare tank, that one over there hasn't got any air in it.
Okay. Then I'll fill it.
Hey, wait a minute. What's going on, Mike? What are you doing?
I'm going back down.
Why? What happened down there?
Those blips turned out to be a couple of divers. They jumped me, tried to kill me.
What?
Yeah.
Look, Mike, by the time you get that thing filled, they'll be gone.
Okay, and we'll follow by sonar. I can't find them. They gotta be down there someplace.
If they're down there, we'll find them. This machine can count the pebbles on the bottom. Listen, Mike, you take the wheel. Steer a zigzag course. I'll watch the screen, all right?
Good idea, good idea. Well, see anything?
Nothing yet. Those divers that jumped you down there, what do you think they were up to?
I don't know. That box they picked up was marked with a buoy. And whatever was in it, they were willing to kill for it.
Treasure hunters, maybe?
Who knows?
Pleasure craft.
I'll say.
What do you mean?
Never mind, just take my word for it. Looks like they want company.
First thing you know, they'll be swimming over here. Stop waving and fish.
Oh, how do you work these things? I've never seen one in my life.
You'll be an expert before we finish.
We went back and forth inside the harbor entrance and drew one blank after another. No sign of the divers. Our sonar should have found them. As machines go, it was nearly perfect. Still, we drew a blank. The men I was after had vanished with whatever they were carrying.
We might as well go back in, Mike.
We headed for shore and the Coast Guard base.
This could be it, Mike. Bottom of the page.
Oh, yeah. Narcotics Bureau reports influx of heroin. Local market flooded. Boy, you bet that could be it.
You said they picked up the crate at the outskirts of the harbor. Probably was dropped by a freighter inbound from the Far East.
So when customs checked the ship, she'd be clean. Now, where'd those divers disappear to? That's what I want to know.
I'd like to find out.
Not as much as I would.
You know, if they are smuggling dope, they'll play a lot rougher than they have already, Mike.
That's for sure. You gonna give me a little protection?
You bet.
Oh, thanks, Commander. I'll keep in touch, huh? All the next week, Dr. Briggs and I scouted every ship that approached the harbor. We covered the area inch by inch, working the sonar for all it was worth. Suddenly, it came up with something.
Hold it, Mike. Stop the engines, eh? Look at this, Mike.
Uh-huh.
What do you think?
I think I'll go down and take a look at it. Give me my scooter, huh? Get a line for that scooter. I'll lower it down to me. The sonar had reflected a moving object, all right, but it wasn't a diver. It was interesting to look at, but it wasn't what we were looking for. So I headed upstairs again. An hour later, the sonar screen lit up again.
Mike, I think we got him.
Huh? This time for real. They're my diving buddies, all right. Now, let's see if we can spot the rest of this outfit. That's it, I think. Take a look.
Yeah, Mike, I swear you're right. Somebody on that boat's getting ready to drop a box over the side.
Yeah, box with weights. Well, I'll be right there waiting for it. Look, radio the Coast Guard helicopter. Give them the position of the ship and the bearing, huh?
Hey, Mike, don't try to do it all by yourself.
I'll take a smoke flare with me. If I need help, I'll release it. Tell the helicopter to watch for it. If the divers were using their scooters again, I'd be on equal terms with them now. According to our sonar device, I was following the same path they'd taken. All the same, I couldn't spot them. Perhaps I'd have better luck farther down. There they were. They were traveling in tandem again. They had beaten my ears off last time, and it was just plain foolish to think I could do any better now. But I was sure going to try. The two divers had gotten away with their underwater disappearing act once, but this time I was right behind them. My guess was they were looking for a duplicate of the wooden crate that they picked up last time. They found what they were looking for. If it did contain narcotics, as Commander Kelly thought, then they'd stop at nothing to deliver it. No wonder. A crate this size could contain illegal drugs worth $500,000. Where and how were they going to deliver it? They certainly couldn't hope to cross the bay, not in their own power, not even with their scooters. There had to be some other explanation. There it was, an underwater sled, held down to the harbor bottom by an anchor, with a tow line reaching up to the surface. That had to mean a boat upstairs to haul them across the bay. Once that sled started moving, they'd be gone for good with their cargo. I had to make a move, right now. I was determined first to damage those narcotics if I could. So I smashed into the crate at full speed.
Start her up.
Well, one member of the opposition was out of business. The other was still very active. He got to the sled and turned it right side up just as the boat overhead started to pull out. I didn't have a moment to lose. Not if I wanted to lose this diver and hold on to that crate. Time to call the Coast Guard. I reached down for my signal flare, but it was gone.
I don't like the looks of that whirlybird up there. What if he gets wise?
Wave to him. Look innocent.
Don't I always?
Helicopter lookout to Dr. Briggs, over. Lookout to Dr. Briggs, over.
Briggs to helicopter, over.
No sign of Nelson yet.
He should have signaled by now. Keep looking.
Roger. Stand by.
We've got him made. I heard this load is 4 times bigger than last time. I'm going to ask Mr. Hart for more money. 4 times more.
Why don't you ask him for a shot in the head? You've got a better chance getting it.
I work hard for my money.
We'll be into the canal soon. You've got about 10 minutes to smarten up.
If I wanted to find out who this package was addressed to, I'd have to help deliver it myself. I had no bearings, no way of knowing where we were headed. The water was getting warmer, though, which meant we were getting closer to shore. All of a sudden, we started to slow down. That made it a lot harder to keep the sled steady. I wasn't sure, but I sensed that we were in some kind of a channel now. The boat lost way rapidly. It was time to say goodbye to the sled. I watched the boat pull into a dock. I decided to swim past it, and then when I reached a good vantage point, come up and see what I could see.
Hi. It went perfect, Mr. Hart.
Where are those divers? Pull that line in. Something's wrong. It's broken. The stuff has leaked all over. A perfect job, huh? Where are the divers? Bubbles. Get the hardware.
I felt reasonably sure that it would be safe now to risk an eyewitness view of these characters. I came up slowly. It was still too fast. The rifle bullet had done plenty of damage, even though I hadn't been hit. It had ripped a hole right through my air hose. All I had going for me now was the air in my lungs. I had no choice. Unless I wanted to drown, I had to face those guns upstairs.
All right, drop them. Now in the water. Go fish him up. Hands in the rail.
You promised me protection, Commander, and you sure delivered. Just when I needed it. How'd you manage that, anyway?
Easy as falling off a log. Our helicopters told the police your direction, probable destination, even your estimated time of arrival.
How?
Seems you left a trail in the water.
Trail?
A white trail about 2 yards wide.
The heroin from the busted crate.
About $500,000 worth.
Holy mackerel. Hey, that's an expensive trail, huh?
You said it. Those smugglers will have quite a few years to brood about it, too.
How many years you think?
About 15. Maybe by that time we'll have this narcotics problem licked.
You really think so?
Well, this way of smuggling the stuff in won't work anymore. Thanks to you, Mike.
Yeah, but there's so many other ways.
Yeah, but we'll just have to keep working on it.
That's for sure. All of us.
Hello there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. Skin diving is fun and adventure for young and old, but it can be dangerous. So know the sport well and don't take any chances. Be with you next week for another exciting sea hunt.